All right, so the assignment first question. There's probably two ways to have done this. I did it one way. If you did it the other, that's fine. I'll have to figure it out. But it says using only its available cash on hand, could Digby have reduced its equity enough to have had an ROE that was equal to or greater than Erie's ROE? And I've got ROE is equal to net income divided by equity. And I did it by using the ROE that Erie had. You could have done it by instead changing the amount of equity that Digby had by reducing it by the amount of the cash that they had on hand. So if you did it that way, that's fine. Anyhow, the team Erie's ROE was 28.1%. And that's equal to, got my net income divided by equity. My net income is not going to change, so 31 million would be 455,000 divided by my equity. With the magic of algebra, I can rearrange things a little bit, and it's 31,455 then divided by the 28.1%. That would give me an equity amount of that would have been necessary for them to get down to 111,939.5 million, $111,939,500. How's that? Digby had 134 million in equity. They had about 20 million in cash, so they could have paid their equity down by buying back stock, paying dividends, right, or some combination thereof. Okay, so they could have done that, and they could have got it down to 113 million. So the answer is no. It didn't have quite enough cash to pay it down. Okay, it was close, but not quite enough to pay it down to where their ROE would have been equal to Erie's. So anybody do it the other way, just out of curiosity? Josh did? Eric did? Okay. That's fine. You came up with the same answer roughly, right? Yeah. Okay. 2, if Digby chose to retire or pay off its long-term debt with the latest maturity, and what I meant by that was the furthest out, okay, would they buy it at a discount or a premium? This one was meant to be fairly easy. If you come to the bond market summary, we got Digby. The series tells you the dates, okay, tells you the date of maturity, and their latest maturity is 2028. Okay, so this is the bond that we're looking at. Would it be a premium or a discount? Well, this tells us right here, this closing dollar, that's how much it would cost to purchase $100 of this bond. You know, there's 18 million, but if you wanted to purchase $100 of this, or you can think of it as a percentage too, that's fine. You know, 126.06, you know, per $100 or whatever. So you're going to pay a $26.06 premium, basically, right, for every $100 of that bond that you purchase. Why is that? Could be a couple things. Okay, a couple things could come into play here. One is interest rates, right? Certainly this, and this is a later question, but this has a rate of 11.3. The yield is going to be 9%. Okay, so rates have come down in the marketplace, meaning the value of the bond goes up. The other thing that probably has an impact here is the S&P rating. I don't know what their S&P rating was when they issued this bond. Okay, I don't know that. But their S&P rating right now is AA. And so if their S&P rating has improved over time, that makes it more valuable as well, right? Because they're a stronger company, it's more likely that you're going to get paid back, that they're not going to default on the debt, all those things. And so those two factors, both the fact that we've got a changing interest rate and the fact that their rating probably improved. You know, when you guys all started out, you were all, what, C's or something like that? Yeah. And so the rating has probably improved throughout the game, and therefore both of those things would conspire to make the premium a little more. Third question, how much would the discount or premium be in dollars if we take the 26.06%, which exceeds that 1 or 100, and you just take it times the principal amount, if you were to do the whole thing, they'd pay almost an extra $5 million. Okay, so if they wanted to buy back their debt, and I think they can. I think I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think a company can go into the marketplace and buy back their debt if they want to. Okay, some debt has callable features. Okay, and so if they're buying it back in the marketplace, it's only from willing sellers, whereas in a callable feature, willing or unwilling, they can buy it back. So, and what was the interest rate at inception or at the start? And again, this will tell us, right? The series tells us was 11.3. This was similar. Remember, we took a look at regular companies, and this is similar to the report that we get. It may be a little bit different format, but not much. Okay, so you can go out in real life and see what corporate bonds are doing right now, if you had any interest in investing in those. It also tells you, maybe the strength of the company too. If you're doing an analysis of a company, you might want to look at their bonds and just see what they're rated, those types of things. Chester's current book value is $47.51 per share. If the company issued $10 million of their outstanding stock at last year's end of year 5 stock price, what would be the new book value? Assume everything else remains the same. Show the math. Well, they're selling stock for quite a premium, about 2 times the book value, right? Okay, so they're getting a little bit of a premium then for their stock, so we should assume that it's going to up the book value. Okay, there's probably 2 ways to do this. I'd imagine everybody did it the same way I'm going to do it. Another way, you could use some percentages and come up with the same answer. It's possible. So anyhow, they sold $10 million worth at $84.54. That was the year-end price, I think. So they would have issued an additional 118,287 shares. They had 2 million outstanding. You add those two together, so their new shares outstanding would be 2.118 million. If you added the 10 million to their equity, because that's exactly where it would go, okay, that 10 million would all be considered equity. So their equity then would go up to 105 million and 10,000. Then it's just simply a matter of dividing that by the new shares outstanding. So their book value was $47.51, but because we sold this stock at a premium, okay, it does raise the book value up to $49.57. Does that make sense to everybody? So we added equity, would have added some assets too, but wouldn't have changed the liability side, right? So if you look at your accounting equation, right, both your assets and your equity would increase and the liabilities would have stayed the same, so the book value goes up. Last question was just do a little investigation. What's an investment grade bond? What teams in our simulation have investment grade bonds for round 5? In the investment world, an investment grade bond is considered triple B or better. So triple B, next up would be single A, okay, or A minus maybe, right? And in our game right now, we've only got 2 teams, Chester and Digby, that have bond ratings that are above triple B. Okay, single B would be worse than triple B. Way to know that is the absolute best rating it gets triple A. Okay. So I think there are only 3 or 4 companies in the world that have AAA bond ratings. I think Microsoft is one. I think J&J is one. I'm not sure what the 3rd or 4th is. The United States government is no longer AAA. Okay, the United States government's AA minus, I believe. Okay, so AA and then close to another A on the other one, but it was downgraded here a few years ago. And I don't believe it's regained its AAA status, at least by one of the bond rating companies. So technically it is safer, if you wanted to, it's safer to lend money to Microsoft or J&J. I wish I knew what the other company was. There might be 1 or 2 out there. It's safer to lend money to them than it is to lend it to the U.S. government, according to the bond rating agencies, which might be true. I can tell you this, in terms of their balance sheets, both those companies have way better balance sheets than the U.S. government. They certainly don't have $20 trillion in debt. Any questions about the assignment? Pretty simple one. Sorry. I'll try to challenge you guys a little more next time then. So, okay, let me